Welcome back to another episode of the Triple Dub podcast. We are so happy to be back again on here, even though, we'll get into that later. But the Wizards are in the postseason. They are in the playoffs, so we do have to celebrate that. And we will get into our discussion about how that's going, but they're there. So anyways, but as we start off all of our episodes, I am Bree, and I am here with my lovely co-hosts, Candi, Carita, and Becca. And we always start you guys off with our song for the week, and which will be added to our Spotify playlist, Triple Dub podcast playlist. Search it, find it, like it, listen to it. Okay. And then, so my song, so normally I know Candi is the one that brings the throwback hits. But I'm going to dig into my classics bag, and I'm choosing Diana Ross, Take Me Higher. It's a really fun song. It's like good mood, good vibes, all of that. So that's my song. Candi, what did you choose?
See, now you're going to make me second guess my choice. Because I was going to dig into the crates. And I think I'm going to go back to digging in the crates. And maybe I'll save my song for another time. I have been listening to the song. It's an 80s vibe. Don't Disturb This Groove by the System. Yes. For no real reason other than I just feel like saying it.
Good one.
Well, dang, now y'all got me changing my song because the other day I was talking about and listening to Prince, Purple Rain. So I'm going to go with that one.
Yes.
Since we on that throwback vibe.
Right.
You guys are so funny because tonight I was trying to think of a song that I've been listening to recently that's a hip and cool, trendy song, but of course I could not find it. So I went back to my 90s playlist and I had to say, listen, we don't have any Britney in our rotation, so we got to do Baby One More Time. So that's what I'm going with. I think it's all funny because this is totally uncoordinated. We didn't go back.
Very much so.
Right. Anyways, you better listen to it while you're working out or while you're, reading a book or on your way to work in the metro. If you're going back to work, you've got to use our playlist. So
yes,
we want to do
everything.
Yes, pregame for the next Wizards game. All of that. But yeah, so it's like throwback vibes on this one. So let's throw it back to what has been happening with the Wizards so far in the playoffs.
All right. So the last time we were all together, the Wizards were preparing to play the Celtics in the play-in tournament. We all knew how that turned out, not necessarily in the Wizards' favor, but they came back super strong against the Indiana Pacers. They won that game, a great game, strong game. So now they are playing the 76ers and are down 2 games. So they're 0-2. They've been playing both games in Philly. Not the prettiest of games, but I want to start out with a game I like to play, which is, what's your one word? So, ladies, what is your one word to describe the first 2 games of the Wizards-Sixers playoff series, and why did you pick that word? I'm going to start with Becca.
Well, she told me that if I didn't use the word I used prior to turning our mics on, that she was going to call me out on it. So my word for this game is LOL. My explanation for that, I think, is pretty obvious. The Wizards, kicked ass during the season to come back and secure the 8th seed. And I'm not understanding why right now, because the first 2 games was kind of scary. So I'm confused, and LOL lightens the mood. When you send a text and you send a sentence that isn't so nice, but you put LOL at the end, so it's not so bad. That's kind of like what I'm doing right now. So
Carita, what's your one word and why?
Disappointing. I mean, I had higher expectations of what they would do in the playoffs, especially like Becca said, coming off the end of the season, they had a lot of momentum, but they're so flat. They are getting completely dominated. They don't look like they're ready to even play, and they're losing bad on top of that. It's just does not look like a team who was ready for the playoffs. So I'm disappointed. Not what I expected.
Mm-hmm. Bree, you're up next. What's your one word and why?
My one word is kind of piggybacking off of both Becca and Carita is healing. Like, I feel like the team, like, we are disappointed in what we're seeing, but I feel like it's because they're not fully healed or something is going on, because it is not matching the vibes that we ended the season with, because they were very energetic, they were ready to go, they were motivated and all of that, but it just doesn't seem like we're seeing that within the playoffs. And so as we saw, Westbrook did tweak something and all of that, and so he wasn't at 100% as he normally is. So I don't know, I think there needs to be some healing happening, like some rest or something. So,
or some mental or spiritual healing.
Yeah.
A
new mindset. Yeah.
Right. And in Carita's description, you actually said my word, which was flat. I was like, what is this? So all of you all are hitting on everything that we've been seeing. It's not the same team. I'm like, where's the team that had all this rigor, all this fight, all this resilience, all this motivation? Even when they lost, the few times they did lose before the playoffs, it was still very close games. Like you all are saying, they're losing bad. And I'm like, is somebody arguing in the locker room or something? Like, are they fighting? Are they upset? Like, did something happen? I don't know. But it doesn't look good at all.
Not at all. And remember, we talked about not necessarily wanting them to go the Sixers path. Right. And that's the path that they went. They just can't seem to compete with the Sixers. But the crazy part to me is you are repeatedly losing to this team, even before the playoffs. So when do you make the adjustments? When do those come in? We're 2 games into the playoffs. They played twice from what I remember during the season. So we played this team 4 times and we still can't figure it out.
It's not just that. It's when we played this team, we were a different team. We didn't have things together like how we have it now, with Gafford and Hutchinson and all these new additions and ways of doing things. And it's just kind of concerning because we should be able to handle this team at least to the point of winning a game, I'd assume. But like Candi said, we wanted the Nets, but honestly, if we were playing like this against the Nets, we would get laughed out the building. So I'm not sure what to think of this.
Yeah, and that backcourt, that Philly backcourt, like they are
crazy.
It's like nothing to really break them. And so just seeing how well that they are again continuing to work together, Embiid and Simmons, just seeing how they're able to work together, and then seeing how kind of Westbrook and Beal are not on that same level. I don't even know if it's like just them, but just I think the synergy for the whole team is kind of just off. Like what we were saying, like it's kind of flat. It's like not. Yeah, it's just
they just don't have that edge.
I don't know what happened. Yeah, because we ended the season and it was on a high note, and so it's just like what happened. Is it like we're starting over from the beginning of the season? Because it did take them a while to get ramped up again, but you don't have that much time right now. It's like
our games are numbered.
Yeah, and it just doesn't look like playoff basketball. Like if you sit back and watch some of the other teams play, and even Philly, it's everyone is bringing their
Intensity.
They are, and it's like the Wizards are looking like they did in January. Like, what in the world happened? And Carita, you brought up another great point with the adjustments. The Wizards have played the 76ers. We've talked about this on this pod, that the 76ers are just a tough, really hard matchup for the Wizards. So you mean to tell me the team is still unprepared for this? Like, it's a bad look for playoff basketball. I'ma just say it.
Oh, for sure. And the way in game 1 they let Tobias Harris go off the whole first half. Right. When you saw him going off, immediately there should have been an adjustment to curb that. But they didn't make that adjustment into the second half. And then Joel Embiid started going off. But if they would have made that adjustment earlier, that would have saved a lot of points because he was their main scorer in that first half.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid was in foul trouble. Like, it was a perfect time to capitalize on that. And they didn't, because they let Tobias Harris just have his way.
Mm-hmm. And even after that first game, Bill was, again, like, I know they always are, but reassuring that no, like, game 2 will be ready, blah, 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 da, 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 and all of that. And I believed him, but I don't know what happened, because they were, even, I think it was like in the second quarter of the last game, they were closing the gap and they were getting close to tying it up. Mm-hmm. And then it was just like, it got way out of hand, and then there was no way for them to even catch up. And then Philly sat all their starters, and it's just like, okay, what is going on? And to lose by over how much, like over 20 points, like that's
too many.
Yeah.
Listen, the problem with Philly is that, like Carita said, they have shooters. They have Tobias Harris, they have Curry, they have Embiid can shoot threes. They've got who am I thinking? There's so many shooters on their team. Like, they have shooters like we do. But the problem with that is the Wizards rely heavily on their offense and not defense. The Sixers challenge every possession that the Wizards have. The Wizards, in turn, don't do that. They let the Sixers have their way offensively. So there is no way they can win games like that. They're relying on the Sixers not to make their shots. And when you leave Curry wide open and, on the side, like they've continuously done with every team during the season, leaving their shooters open, it's just not going to happen. So it's kind of scary. I mean, I still believe in them, but I just don't understand like what's going on in their heads.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Philly, I mean, like you said, they're a tough matchup. They have shooters. They have so many weapons. So I understand that they are a tough team. And it's kind of like you have to pick your poison. But I'm just kind of like Rui has been quiet. We know Bertans fouled out last game. Westbrook seems off, and then he got hurt last game. So no one's really stepping up and just kind of coming out of nowhere to support what Brad's doing on we know probably still bad hamstring.
Right.
It just doesn't seem like anyone on the Wizards is really stepping up.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and for everyone that's watching us on YouTube and listening to us on Spotify, we are, a word that Becca used earlier, we're confused. We don't know who you are.
I'm lost in the sauce.
Right. It's like I'm not trying to say that, the Wizards should be 2-0 or the series should be split. I mean, at least maybe it could have been split. It's just the lack of effort that we're seeing.
Exactly.
They just so unmotivated, like they're just not cohesive as a unit. And it's like, where's the fight? Where's the fire? I'm like, do they think they're gonna lose? You know how like sometimes it can just be about your swag, right? Or just how you just come out to play. If you believe you can win, you can like will yourself to win. It's like they're defeated as soon as they start.
Yeah, it's just unless they turn the energy around, I do expect them to play better at Capital One Arena, but we'll have to see. They definitely have to get a win at least they need to win both, but I think that might be a challenge. I need them to win both, though.
I really need to see something. Just give me like a one win, you know, because I can't stand these fans on Twitter telling me, oh, you're going to get swept. At least if y'all win one game, I can say, hey, we didn't get swept. Yeah, we might have sucked a little bit, but we still did. I'm just kidding. No, we need both wins for real. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, we expect more out of this team because we've watched them throughout the season and their turnaround, and we know that they're better than this. So
yeah, and maybe, I mean, we've seen them do great. So it's just like, yeah, we expect more. So hopefully they step it up.
And so this ties into my next question for the Wizard section, and that is, what does the team need to do to be competitive? Sounds like we got high hopes. We think they're going to show up at Capital One, but I will start with Carita on this one. What do you think the team really needs to focus on to be competitive in this series?
Well, one, they need to level up the energy. Like, they need to come in with that, like you said, that swag. Like, you know, we are here. We fought our way in the playoffs, and we're into the playoffs, I should say, and we're going to fight our way through the playoffs. So they need to get that mindset first and foremost. But also, like I said earlier, everyone needs to contribute. This is a time where everyone needs to step up. Prior to the playoffs, Ish Smith was stepping up. Neto, just everybody seemed to be
Garrison
Matthews, David Bertans. He was hot from the three. You know, everybody was doing what they needed to do. I'm not exactly sure what is going on at this point, but everyone needs to contribute. It can't just be on Brad's shoulders. I definitely need Russell Westbrook to get back into that dog mode, because it definitely rubs off on the team. And that's why, to your point, maybe he is injured. We can only speculate that at this point. No one has confirmed it, but he doesn't seem to have that same kind of dog in him, which we saw earlier in the season when we didn't know he was hurt. So, yeah. I mean, for me, the two things is everyone needs to step up, and they need to bring some energy to the game and some fight. And they just also need to do a better job defending. And I could go on and on probably, but I'm just going to stop there. So.
No, that was great. Now, Bree, you're up next. What does the team need to do to be competitive in this series?
Yeah, so I think I'm going to continue with the word that I said previously, which is healing. And I think that, again, what Carita said with physically healing, but also I think as a team together, building that chemistry off the court as well. Unfortunately, of course, you know, with COVID, a lot of the team activities that they used to do throughout the season, going to movies, having dinners and all of that kind of stuff, haven't been happening throughout this whole season. But with so many different new players and, you know, different personalities, all that stuff, I hope that they are doing things to really bond outside of the court, because that definitely translates. Like, a lot of these other teams, they've been playing together for a while. They know each other and all that kind of stuff, especially Philly, but the Wizards do not. And so just in a collaboration with everything that Carita said, like just the off the court stuff as well, like just knowing each other better, I think will help a lot. I think that's what they're missing too, if they're not already doing it. I don't know, but
yeah, that's an awesome point about just the team, just like you said, getting to know each other. Didn't even think about that before. You know, they might just, the team dynamic, the team building aspect is kind of lost this season due to COVID restrictions and everything.
Yeah, because they barely even practice.
Right.
I mean, now they're practicing because there's a little time in between these games, but most of the season, they rarely practice. I mean, you know, we participate in the practice post-game media availabilities, which have been very limited because, I mean, I can only remember maybe 2 or 3 this season.
Yeah.
Just because of how the games were. So that's a factor too, not having that practice time together to build the chemistry.
Yep. Great point. So, Becca, your thoughts. What does this team need to do to be competitive?
Well, I think Carita summed everything up pretty well, but I'm just going to piggyback off of Carita and say they have to, one, match the Sixers' energy. You absolutely have to match your opponent's energy. If you do not, then you do not have a chance, as well as the defensive efforts. I mean, when you look at the defense, the Sixers' defense, you know, they double team Bradley Beal, they're swamping him. Why can't the Wizards do that same thing with Tobias Harris and Curry, knowing that they're going to chug some shots up? You know, we have to match the Sixers. And although that is a difficult task, you know, the Sixers are no easy team. They've got to figure it out because we don't have time. Our games are numbered. So that's all I got.
Yeah, I mean, Brad is not going to win this series by himself.
For sure. He won't.
So they better step it up. They better step it up. And they have to. Because I think they're just better than what they're playing. You all mentioned Rui. Rui has been oddly quiet in the foul trouble. Davis Bertans just not getting anything from Davis here. So yeah, and Westbrook does have to play better. I wanted to mention something really quick, you guys, because I know we're going to move on to the next topic. But in terms of whether or not Westbrook is hurt, do y'all remember in the press conference when that question was asked to Scott Brooks, and he was like, "Well, if he isn't going to tell me. He's definitely not going to tell y'all."
Yeah, so, I remember that comment.
Yeah. So,
which is what we learned when he first came on the team.
We already learned that. So. But it's like, come on, man. Like, tell it. Just give it to us straight. You know,
give it to us straight. My back hurt. My ankle hurt. I'm not doing well.
I feel like crap, man.
It's all over.
But you know, he's going to play unless he has to be like in a wheelchair or something. You know, he's going to try to play.
Right, exactly, for sure.
Yeah, but again, I just hope he takes some time to sit down and just relax and just get it together. Like,
we don't have time for relaxing right now.
Well, like, he needs to get his ankle together or whatever it is. I can't have him.
Our games are numbered.
I know.
Right, our games.
I know. It sucks that it's like, yeah, it's not enough time to fully heal. But
we can't have a one-legged Russ running around on that court. Like it's more harm than good. You know, we need him healthy and we need him moving and setting up his teammates. He can't just be still on the court taking those, you know, jump shots or wherever the hell he ends up, he just shoots it. It's like, Russ, come on, this is not your game. Are you okay?
Are you all right?
This is not you, and we know that.
Right. Yeah. To try to be more positive, if that's possible, we're going to try to be more positive. The Wizards will be back at home on Saturday in Capital One Arena. Becca, we know that you have been at some of these games recently. So can you share with us what that experience has been like in being back in the arena?
Oh my God, it was so emotional to be back in there just because it's been well over a year since we've all been back there. Honestly, with the arena not at full capacity, the energy was crazy. Like the energy was great. The energy was, you know, uplifting. And it was really awesome. I got to go with my dad and my sister and brother, and we all just had an amazing time. You know, it was just awesome to see the fans still in it, you know, over time. And, you know, our fans were behaving. So I can't speak on the other fan bases and other arenas. Yes, I am throwing shade because I am disgusted. Anyways, it was nice. It was really nice. And I might go to the game on Saturday. So I'm excited to see how that'll go if we get a win. I'll take lots of videos, so we'll have some stuff to post, and we'll go from there. But it was nice.
I'm curious to know, how was it, Becca, like when you're in the arena or when you're coming into the arena? Like, do you have to like show anything? Do they take your temperature? Is it just kind of like normal, but you just have to wear a mask?
So the only thing you have to do is you just go through the security. You just walk through, and you cannot bring in a purse. You can only bring in like a wallet or something like that. And But yeah, it's pretty standard compared to how it was. But yes, you have to wear a mask, or you will not be allowed in. So
Yeah. Dang, yeah, because we're all like, again, for those that are just tuning in, like we all are used to going to the arena to cover these games, and so it's just been so weird not being there. And so
it's different.
yeah.
These Zoom calls hit different.
Yeah,
Not in a good way
too.
though.
And who knows when we'll even be like, I mean, now that they're bringing fans back, they might let all media come back, but we're not even sure yet. So
Right.
we'll
Right.
see.
So Becca hinted on something about fans and arenas opening up that we're going to cover in the next section. I'm getting ready to turn it over to Carita for what's going on in the NBA.
What's going on in the NBA? These fans are back and they are acting a fool. Okay. That is what is going on in the NBA. Don't get me wrong, we are glad fans are back. But in these playoffs, we have seen some disappointing and word of the night, disappointing. Disappointing and disgusting behavior. One incident involving Wizards' own Russell Westbrook. He tweaked his ankle the other night. He's walking off the court, and a fan pours popcorn over his head. He had to be held back by security, which I don't blame him. And this is what he had to say about the incident.
I don't know, bro. Unfortunately, I was leaving out, and then I just felt popcorn on top of my head, and to be blatantly honest, man, this is getting out of hand, especially for me. Just the amount of disrespect, the amount of just fans just doing whatever they want to do. It's out of pocket, man. It's out of pocket, seriously. Like, any other setting, I'm all for the fans enjoying the game and having fun, and it's part of sports. I get it, but there are certain things that cross the line. And any other setting, I know for a fact that fans and they wouldn't come up. A guy wouldn't come on the street and pour popcorn on my head because he know what happened.
Right. Now, before we get into that, there was another incident involving Trae Young. Now, he quieted the fans at Madison Square Garden in Game 1, Hawks versus Knicks. And at the end of the game, he revealed that there were a lot of FU chants. Okay. Then I believe in Game 2, the fans were basically talking about he was balding. But the worst of it was this incident where a fan spit on Trae Young. Kind of hard to see, but it happened. Okay, let's get into it. Like Russell Westbrook said, it's getting out of hand. We've seen these incidents before here and there, but one thing that he mentioned in the press conference the other night is that the NBA needs to do something. And LeBron James tweeted something very similar. So, ladies, what are your thoughts on these two incidents? And do you think the NBA needs to do something more to protect players from these types of situations? And I'll start with Bree on this.
Yeah, I'm just still like, it's just too much already. I mean, even when they started bringing back fans, and we all remember courtside Karen and that incident with LeBron and all of that, and her, cussing him out, or and all of that stuff. And then it's like, yes, you want fans to express yourself, but again, it's a line of just being disrespectful. Like, these are people as well. And unfortunately, Russ, his whole career, he's dealt with this, but it's like now to be throwing food on people, like, you are paying money to come see this person play. Like, why are you throwing food on them like that? Yeah, it's out of control. But yeah, I have to give a shout out to Jackie and the whole security crew. They did hold Westbrook. They made sure he did not, because we would not want him to get suspended or anything like that. I'm glad that he was able to be self-controlled in that situation, but it's becoming too much. And I'm also glad that because of COVID, at least now fans are not sitting on the same side of the court where the team is sitting and where the bench is. So at least there's a little bit of borders or boundaries in that sense. So they're not like right next to them. But still, like the fact that someone's able to spit on you, it's too much.
Yeah. And you hit it off really good when you said they're human beings. Like athletes are human beings. And like Russell Westbrook said, if you saw me on the street and a regular person, you would not pour popcorn on me. You're not going to do that to anybody regularly. So why do it to an athlete?
Right.
It's disgusting. Yeah. I mean, you go to a game, and like Bree said, you're going to watch a basketball game. You're not going to spit on people. You're not going to throw stuff at people. I mean, athletes, the crazy part is if Russell Westbrook was the one to dump popcorn on the fan, or Trae Young was the person to spit on the fan, it would be a completely different situation. Right. But the fans are beginning to cross a line, and they have been crossing a line, but now it's happening more often where it's like the NBA, the arenas, they've got to hire extra security, or they've got to do something to ensure that this is not reoccurring, because this is a job for these athletes. You know, you think about us, we go to our jobs, we sit in our offices or we sit in our cubes. That's just like some random person we don't know walking in, dumping food on us. Doesn't matter if it's popcorn, soda, ice cream, chicken tenders, French fries, whatever. It's like, it's not acceptable and it's not appropriate. And this isn't just an NBA fan thing. This is a human being, a manners and respect thing. And it's just disgusting. Like, I can't believe that I watched Trae Young get spat on courtside. And it's just like, if you cannot behave there, you shouldn't be out in public, period. You shouldn't be at NBA arenas. You shouldn't be at concerts. You shouldn't go to restaurants. You shouldn't go anywhere. I mean, grow up. These are adults doing this.
Right.
Yeah. That was definitely going to be my comment, Becca, was that these individuals need to be like blacklisted. Like, they should not be allowed to come to another event at that location, like ever. Regardless of what team is playing, what concert is going on, they should not be allowed in there. I feel like folks who do stuff like that, it's almost like you're a danger to society. Like, who does stuff like that? Like, what is your mental capacity that makes you as an adult want to spit on another human being that you don't even know? Like, you don't know in real life. You don't know these people. I mean,
and just knowing you're going to get away with it because they're going to be restrained. You know, that guy knew Westbrook wasn't going to come up the stairs and start beating him up.
He wasn't going to be able to get up there. You know,
like, if you spit on someone, first of all, you shouldn't spit on anyone.
You should.
But when someone spits on someone, it's like
it's the ultimate
you have a problem with. And it's the ultimate disrespect.
Yeah.
So like you said, Candi,
right?
You don't even know this man.
No.
I am all for like fans. I get it, and you're passionate about your team, but never can I imagine getting to a point where I want to pour popcorn on an athlete or spit on an athlete. It's just not that serious. And Becca, I think you said it. You need to be in a cage somewhere because you're an animal. Like, you don't need to be let out.
You're a zoo animal. Yeah. Those people were acting like zoo animals. You cannot be uncaged. You don't deserve to go to events. You don't deserve to go to restaurants. You don't deserve to even go to your friend's house. If that's how you feel comfortable spitting on random strangers. Right. I mean, who knows how you treat other people in your life? That's just bizarre. I'm sorry. But over not liking a basketball player, I mean, could you imagine us like reacting like that every time we saw a basketball player we didn't like? I mean, that's just ridiculous. Grow up.
Yeah. That was tough. It's been tough. And I'm like, hey, this should be a happy time. Even if your team isn't winning, it's like people are getting vaccinated. We done made it through a pandemic. We're out here trying to have a good time. And you're out here, the guy who poured that popcorn on Russell Westbrook, that was completely premeditated. He knew exactly what he was doing. If you saw that clip, he knew exactly what he was doing and was waiting for him to walk through there at that moment and pour that daggone popcorn right on Russell Westbrook's head.
And he was injured. That makes it worse.
Right.
He was going to the locker room because of an injury. This wasn't even the end of the game.
Right.
And which still is no excuse, but you know what I mean? It's like, this guy is like going to get tended to.
Yeah.
And you pour popcorn on his head.
What's worse is the man who poured popcorn on Russell Westbrook is a season ticket holder.
Right.
So to me, that's awful because it's like you attend every single game. On every single chair, they put a note that says, you have to cooperate. You have to basically be on your best behavior, show good conduct. And the fact that guy knowing that, he goes to every game and all of a sudden he thinks that's okay. It makes me wonder, like, these fans, this is crazy to me because you guys, these incidents are the ones that we saw on camera. But imagine the ones that don't get caught on camera.
Right.
I mean, seriously, like, they've got to get a hold on this. We've got to protect the players. It's disgusting and it's shameful, honestly.
And that popcorn isn't cheap, so
why are you
$9
popcorn?
A $9 bag of popcorn. You
give it to the person next to you if you don't want it. Right. If you don't want it, pass it along. Like, what are you doing? But I was also gonna say, going to even with the Trae Young situation and with the chance of F you, Trae Young, and everything else, like, where's the creativity? Like, that chant ain't even like cute. It's not even cool. Like, come on, like, it's a family event. Like, I mean, I get it that people again are passionate or whatever, but it's like, come on, let's come up with something more clever and fun, like how it was back in the day. Like, it's just, again, people are not thinking of these people. They are there to entertain you, but this is also their job. Just like what Becca was saying, you're not walking up to your coworkers and throwing popcorn at them randomly, or you wouldn't want them to do that to you. So it's the empathy. Come on.
And I think that's a great way to end the segment. And you reminded me, Bree, Drew Gooden, who is an on-air commentator. He used to play in the NBA, but on-air commentator for the Wizards. When that happened, he essentially said the same thing. He was like, no one comes to your job and pours popcorn on your head, so don't come to someone else's job and pour popcorn on their head. And that's a fact.
Well said.
So that's plenty for what's going on in the NBA. Plenty. And with that, we'll go to a more positive topic. This is our Women in Sports Spotlight. So, Becca, take it away.
Well, listen, we've talked about all the problems with this week, like what Carita said. So we've chosen some pretty good women to give the spotlight to, Becky Hammon and Natasha Cloud. And, but today I want to highlight Michele Roberts, who is the executive director of the National Basketball Players Association. She is the first woman to hold this position and the first woman to head a professional sports union in North America. As the executive director, Michele works on behalf of the NBA players to ensure their rights are protected and that they are fairly compensated. Additionally, as many people know, Michele over the summer was the forefront of giving the players a voice in pursuit to work on social issues such as mental health, political activism, and racial injustice. So today we're honoring her because of her leadership during a very strange time with the COVID outbreak. She really got players through a aggressive, compressed 72-game schedule, along with her, normal work. It's just crazy to me because with the COVID vaccine, the COVID outbreak, we didn't really know what was going to happen. And the fact that she has to spearhead, and lead these people and make sure that they're healthy and protected all at the same time. It's just incredible. And I just want to honor her today because without her, this season wouldn't have been possible. Playoffs wouldn't even be happening. And yeah, I mean, players have been healthy for the most part. You know, at the beginning, the COVID outbreaks were crazy, but you know, it's been months and months and months, and only a couple players have tested positive. So we have to give her credit. So I'm really happy about this, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, you said everything that can possibly be said. I'll just piggyback and just note that there's so many women behind the scenes doing great work, and Michele Roberts is one of them, and she's going unnoticed in that sense because you think about the commissioner, but she's done great work, and women rock.
Women rock. That's all we gotta say.
Yes, and I was happy to meet her. I think I don't know, it was a few years ago. She was at one of the Wizards games actually, and so I met her. She was by the locker room, and I was able to talk to her. And basically, I said what you said, Carita. Like, it's just great seeing a woman in this position who, again, is not only respected by her colleagues but also respected by everyone that's around her as well. And she was really nice, and like, she was very nice, very engaging. And so again, it's great seeing, like we all said, we say every time we spotlight all of these women, it's just great seeing this.
Yes.
Yep. Awesome. I don't have anything else to add. You guys said it.
Awesome. You know, like, I'm almost like, I'm just so proud that women like her are heavily involved in the organization. Because, you know, you hear about Adam Silver all the time, but people don't talk about Michele Roberts because she's the advocate for the player. And, you know, she's not, you know, the forefront of the NBA, but she's the forefront of the National Basketball Players Association. So she does an outstanding job, and I'm happy that she's there. Honestly, I'm happy that it's her. I know that she was supposed to retire, I think, last summer, but when the COVID outbreak hit, you know, she still chose to do her duties, and you know, I just have a lot of respect for her, and I know we all do. So it's awesome.
Yeah, I will add, since we were talking about the fan situation, this would be the person who would speak on the behalf of the players, right? So we appreciate her and respect her because she is the voice. So that's, and it's needed, as we all know and can see.
Yeah, we already know she's cooking up a plan to make sure that none of this stuff is going to continue to happen. So
can't wait.
So thank you, Michele. And with that, I guess we could go on and talk badly about the Wizards some more, but I think we want to.
Yeah, we'll save it for the next episode. Well, hopefully not.
Hopefully we'll have more positive news next time.
Yes. So everybody, make sure that you tune in Saturday, tomorrow, for the game. We will all be watching, and I know I'm not good on Twitter, but all of these ladies, they live tweet during the game and post game and all of that. So make sure you're following all of us, as you can see our handles, and make sure you are following the Triple Dub podcast as well on Twitter and on Instagram. And subscribe to our YouTube channel if you are watching us. Hey, and if you are listening to us, hi. So just continue to support us. You know, we're rocking out with the Wizards until we'll see what happens.
And I want to plug one thing. Rock with us because you're getting inside information. We are 4 women who cover this team, who are in the press conferences, talking to the players. So you're getting the inside scoop. So definitely make sure you follow us and support and listen.
Yes. And we like to have fun. We hope that you guys are having fun watching and listening to us. So come back. And we'll see you guys next episode. Thank you, everyone, again. Bye.
Thank you. See you.